All right, we are just about waiting on here. Just, players getting ready, just stretching, which we should remind everybody, stretch your roaches.
Yep. Just
Yes, we get ready.
as we get ready for the grand finals of ESL Open Cup 18, powered by Not Dare,
Powered by Asia.
powered by Asia, powered by ESL. As this will be a best of 5, winner takes all. Winner does get 100 USD. Loser walks away with
Although
nothing.
the runner-up does get some, the runner-up does get a couple of ESL Pro Tour points.
Yeah, some EPT points, that is true. You do get a couple of points.
And speaking of points, here we have it in this best of 5 finals. We're going to be spawning in on Eternal Empire, Ile, which, as we all know, does stand for Emulating Extraordinary Link Existence. Emulating Link's existence, which, just forget the second E there is silent, so forget about the second one. In the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, it is gonna be our red Protoss, all the way from the land of Korea, as well as wherever the shield building is. He is the director himself. He is Nick Fury, the Shield of Ire. His first time in an ESL Open Cup Pro Tour tournament. Can he walk that royal road? We're about to find out, as we have, representing Africa Freaks, bless them reigns, it's Stats.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the Canadian Zerg representing Brave Star Gaming BSG. We have the Zerg player, Scarlett.
All right, going to be a hatch first this time, coming up from Scarlett.
Yeah.
She knows that Stats is probably not going to try. He's not going to try anything too cheeky. I think Stats, much like Rain, you were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Much like Rain, Stats is a very defensive Protoss player, but once he started throwing in a couple of more cheeky builds, he definitely got a lot more defense. The thing about Stats, though, is he never does it in game number 1. He'll always start off with something standard.
Yeah, definitely. And Stats, already with the aggressive probe for Scarlett to take the natural to the right at the third base location, which isn't ideal, but it's, it happens. Unfortunately, in this matchup, as we saw earlier today, Stats explained it to a player himself. But yeah, Stats, he is the more solid macro Protoss. I think he is known to proxy, but mainly if he's gonna do it, it's gonna be like in a PvP, right? Like it's not, yeah. Not really known to in the
Either
other
that
matchups.
or if he's he sometimes does it if he's down in a series and he just thinks, you know what? You wanna take a game off of me? Well, you brought this about on yourself, buddy, as we do see his Stats hiding his Twilight Council and Robo facility.
Yeah, really nice position there, hidden in between the bases, on the low ground as well. We'll see if Scarlett is able to snip this out, as she does have an Overlord here in the natural. Could dive in and try and spot those hidden tech buildings. Otherwise,
but chase away.
Yeah, this could be a little bit worrisome, as we do have Glaive Adepts on the way.
Indeed, we do. Scarlett, a pretty good Zergling spread, or yeah, it looks like she's trying to spread that out along with the Overlords, just get a good position on the map.
Just making sure she spots any Warp Prism that moves out. But the Warp Prism won't be coming out of the main base, it will be coming out of the natural of all places. But we'll see if Scarlett
There's the
Glaives. Yep. There it is. Thank you, Zest. Stats harnessing his inner Zest, representing his fallen comrade.
It's funny, Zest actually did do this build versus Scarlett.
That's true, that's accurate. Oh boy. And there we go. We already have a couple of Adepts on the way through the middle of the map. At the same time, we do have the Warp Prism moving out. So Scarlett, she does spot the Warp Prism. I think she did spot the Adepts as well, as she did have a Ling at the tower. She should be coming back home and getting a defense ready. A Spine on the way as well. Roach Warren is about to finish up, but it won't be ready in time for this push. Oh boy.
Adepts are here. The creep is spotting everything. Scarlett just pooling all of her forces together, and the shade goes in. Scarlett's gonna have to get the best surrounds of her life, and does not commit to the shade there.
Yeah, and we'll see, because the Warp Prism is here, the Adept count is going to get larger and larger, to the point where, depending on how the Roaches are split up, they could even fight the Roaches themselves. So Scarlett has to be so careful here. And I do love that she threw down a Spine as well, just in case. So she does have like an anchor point here. As
Cancel?
Oh, okay. I was worried as well.
Stats,
like,
you gotta stop playing with my heart there a little bit. Wait till the last second.
Oh boy, yeah.
But you know what? If that makes me nervous, that probably makes Scarlett a little nervous as well. If that makes the viewers and the casters a bit nervous.
Yeah, and here we go, the moment where now Stats, he's shading, and at the same time he's pushing in with his Adepts. We'll see how much damage he can get done, because so far Scarlett hasn't lost any workers at all to this.
Yeah, Stats is just playing this so conservatively. He does not want to just throw it all in, which, I mean, it's in character with Stats, I would say, but at the same time, this is a kind of build where you do want to sort of YOLO in and YOLO out. That being said, Scarlett has very good positions with her Zerglings.
Yeah.
So even if Stats wanted to, he kind of can't.
He's looking for an opening, and he doesn't commit there either. So far, he's just done nothing but clear creep and apply pressure. Meanwhile, behind this, he has expanded. He has gotten a third base. He has started Immortal production, and he's getting Blink as well. So by no means is he all in. He is just forcing Scarlett to stay defensive at home.
Yeah, and it's one of those weird things to really judge whether this is too advantageous for Stats, because again, this build you really want to be doing damage, but he is containing Scarlett on 3 bases, which isn't worth the money.
Yeah, you could definitely argue that it is, as ideally Scarlett would love to take a 4th base, but he's not going to let her do that. And you know, he keeps shaving more and more Lings off, keeps her contained here at home. I do love this though. We do have a Spire on the way for Scarlett. We're gonna see Mutas again.
It's probably it is just Adepts and Immortals right now for Stats, but seems like he has been watching that previous game, Stats versus Zest. Or Scarlett versus Zest.
Yeah, and
Stats, he is getting Blink ready.
He
come into the shade.
Yeah, he committed into the
he
main
did.
base.
He found one opening, and he's about to shade right on out. Scarlett splitting up her forces pretty well, but Stats is going to get 10 drones there for the cost of not a lot of Adepts.
Yeah, and what's really important is that with that shade in, he spotted the Spire. He knows. He sees everything.
Absolutely. And another shade goes straight on in, gets a couple more, and Stats, he is fine with losing these Adepts. He needs the supply.
Yeah, definitely. As you know, he does still have a pretty strong army at home to hold an aggressive push from Scarlett, a counterattack, if you will. But again, he spotted
Here come the cannons.
Yeah, here come the cannons. He spotted the Spire. He should be prepared defensively for these Mutalisks.
And the Twilight Council behind that, Archons are just gonna melt Mutalisks if Scarlett isn't careful.
Yeah, Archons, he's already got Blink as well, so these Stalkers will be able to chase them down if need be. And so far, Scarlett hasn't committed to making any, which I think is probably the right decision, especially since it got scattered.
Oh yeah, a fake out Spire. Well, not really a fake out, but yeah, it's definitely better to just make sure that your opponent has that fear in them that there might be a harass, and then utilize the Spire at a later stage of the game.
Yep. It is always there for her if she ever needs to tech into or tech switch into Mutalisk, if she ever finds an opportunity to make it work. At the moment, though, now wouldn't be an ideal time. She has to focus more on her Roach Ravager to defend against these Immortals. But again, she's kind of given.
Going home.
Yeah, she's kind of given Stats time. Stats, he's caught up in workers. He's got Storm on the way as well. This could be a little bit dicey. Especially since Scarlett, she hasn't really, you know, her creep spread hasn't really left her side of the map either. Like even her bases, like it's almost non-existent.
Oh yeah, stats didn't just contain the amount of bases Scarlett could get. He also contained a creep spread as with that observer.
Yeah, like
shaving off the tumors left here and there.
We can just see the contrast between this game and game number 2 between Scarlett and Zest, where Scarlett, she had creep everywhere, basically covering the entire map, and now 10 minutes into the game, they've barely left like the vision of her in bases. So Stats has done a really good job there denying the creep, expanding behind this as well as Mutalists do finally come out for Scarlett.
Love it, Debs. He could lose a Warp Prism, and that is not what you ever want to see as the Protoss player. Scarlett already, in addition to the 5th base, going to be getting the Infestation Pit. And we might see a big clash. Scarlett is posturing in the middle of the map, trying to see if she can get anything done.
Yeah, she's probably going to want to rotate towards that 4th base, but it looks like the cannons and shield batteries are going to be finishing up for Stats, so he will be prepared there. These Mutalists are trying to find some damage wherever they can. Gets a probe, gets an adept as well. You know, nice picking off here and there. We'll see if she can keep them alive and maybe deal some more damage later.
Stats is, man, we were talking a bit of Scarlett giving Stats time, but now I'm a little bit worried that the shoe is on the other foot. Scarlett is allowing Stats to just tech up, get his bases, and get into whatever he wants. Pretty soon, he's going to have a nigh unstoppable Soul Train.
Yeah, it's hard to say because Stats, he's already on 4 bases. Scarlett, she did double expand. She's trying to catch up in economy, and she does have that tech advantage as well. Hive is on the way. We could see Broodlords once again, a much more faster Broodlord tech compared to the previous game, and we'll see if Stats, I mean, he's already transitioning. He's already got Stargates on the way, so he should be prepared.
That he should. We do see a multi-prong coming in from Scarlett, splitting up her army. Gets a gateway, but will get this part of the army caught out.
Yeah, nice
but
there. Doesn't get caught out.
Creep, Scarlett can evacuate.
She's pushing into the forts.
There she is. Good little pull away with the probes, and Stats, I think, has identified that this run by isn't going to be too scary. Just going to try to clean out this army of Scarlett before going for a recall, potentially.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. So Scarlett kills the 4th base, but Stats killed a majority of the main army, killing the majority of the Ravagers as well, the high-tech units.
Go for the counterattack.
Yeah, and he's just going to keep pushing in.
Yeah, Stats is just warping him back at home, going to have a good defensive... Oh, no, he is pulling everything.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the best choice for Stats. I mean, Stats, he still has a lot of High Templar. He has a lot of Storms with this army.
And now he has the high ground. The Banelings are starting to go in, but the Storms are there. The Archons, this time, again, in contrast to Scarlett versus Zest. Scarlett, Stats has quite a number of Archons here. And will be able to take a lot of damage. Meanwhile, more reinforcements are starting to come in. Stats has identified that Scarlett has pulled back. And, you know, I'm getting a little bit worried here for Stats because the high-tech units, the Immortal and the Archon count, are starting to go low, but he's got a lot of momentum. He is just getting so many Blink Stalkers here.
There's just nothing here for Scarlett. There's one Ravager, Roaches, and Lings, and what are they going to do against all these Blink Stalkers, Archons, and Immortals?
And now the Warp Prism is here.
Yeah, the Warp Prism is here to reinforce, to continue applying pressure to push into the main bases of Scarlett. And Scarlett, she just doesn't have much here at all. The Greater Spire is finally going to finish up, but she doesn't have any Corruptors ready. She won't be able to make any Broodlords. And Stats, I think he's done it. He's just blinking on forward, pushing in. I think he has. Oh my god.
This is the Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. here. Defends so well. And GG is called. And man, I gotta say, like, part of the reason why Stats is so good at defense is because he can identify when to turtle up and when he's safe to counterattack. Put pressure on his opponent.
Definitely, like, he just did so much well there, containing Scarlett, stopping that creep spread, and getting Immortals out as well. Those Immortals, like, they worked so well as a wall, for his army, protecting those High Templar from those Banelings, and he just had so many Storms left over because of that, and yeah, he was able to just trade efficiently against Scarlett. Scarlett, it also came down to the fact that she lost a lot of Ravagers, a lot of her costly units. Yeah, when she tried to push into the natural, they were just caught out of position, and Stats, he just started rolling and he didn't stop. Just kept going.
Like, you know what that reminds me of, like
What?
a shield as it rolls down, as it keeps on rolling. It builds momentum. Okay, maybe not quite a shield, but
sure. Yeah. You know, shield as it rolls down and it gets bigger. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, you know, it's like what else can roll down a hill and keep getting bigger? I wonder.
It's just a shield. That's it.
Like, what will you call it? Yeah. Like, what will you call it? I know it's white. There's a term for it. It's associated with mountains, but we're not talking about mountains here. Yeah, we're not talking about mountains here. We are talking about Everdream. LE. LE, if you did not know, does in fact stand for linguistic evolution. Linguistic evolution. That's when you get the linguistic majors. They can explain that. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, it is going to be our red Protoss. He is the director himself, Nick Fury himself, the Shield of Ire. He is looking to walk that royal road, taking that first game. Just needs to do it 2 more times here. It is representing a freak of freaks, blessing the reins. He is Stats.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the Canadian Zerg player representing Brave Star Gaming. She is proxy hatching. It is Scarlett. Oh boy.
Should we really? Oh, okay. Actually, not getting it in the rich Vespine gas location this time.
Yo, she's
switching
mixing
up quite a bit.
Yeah, she's crazy. She's not doing the same build.
Stats, you gotta see this. Stats, you gotta look at this. Stats, buddy.
I'm honestly, I'm surprised Stats isn't going to check that base actually, because she's done it against Deer. Yeah. She's done it against Zest. Stats is like the only one left other than Trap. Like, it's maybe he's thinking it's too obvious. Like, oh, she's not gonna proxy hatch me. Like,
well, it is too obvious.
Yeah,
which is why Scarlett is switching it up.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Stats still hasn't seen this at all. He didn't go for a probe scout.
This is... I've heard of overconfidence, but Stats, come on.
This is a little bit too greedy from Stats.
Okay, like, now he sees it.
Okay,
but is it too late?
It could be. The Lings and the drones are already moving out across the map. They're already basically here. The hatchery is about to finish up as well. Oh boy, we're going to see spines being thrown down. We're going to see queens and Lings, and there will be a single adept here, but will it even be enough?
What is an adept going to do when a spine far outranges it?
Die.
I think that's his only choice at that point. Stats trying to keep a little bit active here, trying to shave off the link count so it's not as devastating. Trying to get a bit of larva, but forgets to cancel the shade. Stats, this is not looking too good for our Shield of Ire, for our Director of Shield.
Yeah, now there are no units out for Stats. He just has a shield battery. He's chronoing out his Stalker as well, but the spines are about to finish up in a couple of seconds. Oh, wait, she's just facing the gateway. Is the Stalker even going to get out? He just does.
Stats is focusing the shield battery on it, but there's a lot of DPS here, and there's about to be even more as these spines finish to burrow. I think we're going to see GG is called, and Scarlett is going to tie up that series 1-1. She's angry now.
Oh, boy.
She was not happy about that first game.
She just went for it, and like again, a little bit of overconfidence there by Stats. Like typically he's been going for these probe scouts at the beginning of each game, but opts not to do it on Everdream and gets punished for it.
Absolutely. And Aquario coming in with the stinky cheese emote. Definitely what it is. All right, we're gonna have game number 3.
I'm sure.
Now, here's a big question, Light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will Stats go for his own proxy?
No. I mean, he could, but I mean, I feel like he's gonna play straight up. We'll see. I feel like Stats after losing that game, 100% I can see him just giggling to himself.
Yeah. That is the type of player. That is the type of player Stats is when he's like, that should have been obvious, as he shakes his head and laughs.
Yeah. That's the kind of player he is. It's like, God, why didn't I scout? God damn it.
Yeah, but it's not like, why didn't I scout? It's more like, yeah, I should have scouted there, shouldn't I?
Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's like the opposite of Dark.
Although Dark even thumbs upping Scarlett after her cheeses.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
Alrighty then. Here we are in the next map. That map number 3 in this best of 5 series. As we spawn onto Simulac Rum. Yarhar Fiddly LE by the sea with me, buddy. Here we have it then. Light, I got a question for you. Are you free?
A freak of TV.
Here in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner map, it is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. himself. He is the Shield of Ire. You may as well give him an eye patch, for he is known for doing that sort of stuff. He is representing a freak of freaks all the way from the land of Korea. It's Stats.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, oh boy, of Simulacrum LE going gas pool, we have the Canadian Zerg player representing Brave Star Gaming. It is Scarlett.
This time, Stats does opt for the Probe Scout.
Yeah, good on him. Nice adaptation there. He's like, you know what? I should probably do this like every game.
Yeah. You're not the Scarlet I faced years ago.
Yeah, so we'll see what Scarlett opts to do here, as you know, she will have enough gas pretty soon for link speed, as she is starting to make a couple of links of her own, as well as a queen. This is a little bit weird, actually. This is kind of looking, even though she's getting link speed, this kind of looks defensive to me. I could be wrong though. I'm a little bit perplexed, because if she was looking to link flood, she would have made 6 links instead of 2 and not made the queen. Instead she opted for the queen, so I
think it's one of those cases where she's going in with the 2 links just to get a scout out for Stats' base, see if there's the opportunity to link flood, and if there is, go. But if not, then she's not all in. Getting the Stats' hit already though.
Oh no, there we go. Okay, now it's starting to make more sense. So she throws down a Baneling Nest as well, didn't stop mining the gases, and more lings are on the way. She's going for a Bane bust.
Well, against Stats, that's actually kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
You have to have a massive amount of trying to make this not too crass, a massive amount of confidence
eggs
to Bane bust Stats.
Big eggs, big juicy eggs right now. And
huevos.
Scarlett, she is flooding links across the map. Again, those Stats, he did probe scout. He should have seen the timings for the pool and the gas as well, and seen what kind of opener it was. And there we have 5 Banelings are on the way. More links flooding across the map. Stats, he is getting a secondary wall ready. He has a shield battery on the way. A sentry is being chronoed. No, it's not being chronoed out. Okay,
just happened to him. Oh, I think he's out of energy. Yeah, he's out of energy for chrono. Oh, he has 1 available to him.
Yeah,
he needs it. We did see him. We did see Stats
hold, earlier today.
Yeah. I don't know why my word's gonna come out. I'm just so I'm breathless.
Oh, but the shield battery
did come out on the wrong side. It did, and now Seth's got to make a decision. Where does he target fire the shield battery on? The shield battery is out of energy, and so many more Zerglings are being rallied across the map. Good shield, force field there by Stats, but again, the sentry is just so vulnerable. Now, the Adept is vulnerable, and that's really what's keeping Stats here. But he is getting his tertiary wall ready.
I'm so worried for Stats because we saw this earlier today. Stats held this exact same thing, and we do have Banelings rushing in. Oh, the pylons are going. Oh, the shield battery
there's the battery popped up right in the last second, but there is only one, and it's already out of energy. And actually, Stats, he is the shield. You cannot crack the shield. But Scarlett is going to try. He powers this gateway already, but there's the second pylon. You cannot crack the shield.
There's a reason why they call him Nick Fury. We have Stats here holding on. None of the links got through. They just managed to break through the first wall, but there's a second wall behind it. And now he has Immortals, he has Adepts. I mean, his Cybernetics core is exposed, so that could go down. And Scarlett is not letting up. More and more links are flooding across the map. More Banelings are being morphed as well. And she's as all in as it gets.
Absolutely. I'm actually worried now for Stats. He is getting another Immortal, but what does he have gateway-wise? He only has a handful of Adepts, and yeah, he's just keeping his mining down. He can't quite afford another round of Warpins.
Oh boy!
Good look at that force field.
Wow!
Absolutely clutch. But there we have it. GG is called, and there you have it. GG is called. Man, that was very ballsy of Scarlett to do that, and you could see she almost cracked. She almost cracked the shield. But Stats. Almost, but Stats, man. I might sound a little bit harsh here, but I don't know why anyone thinks that they could pull that off against Stats.
Yeah,
that might sound a little bit harsh, but
yeah, I agree. Like, if there's a Protoss player who's known for his defense, it is Stats. You know, against Zest, Trap, any other of the top Protoss, sure, but like that was rough.
It was absolutely rough, man. But again, credit where it's due. It definitely looked dark for Stats there. It definitely looked like Scarlett. If that one shield battery didn't pop up in time, if that one sentry couldn't get that force field up, Stats just played that absolutely perfectly. But Scarlett gave him such a run for his money.
Yeah, like a lesser player, definitely wouldn't have been able to hold as well as Stats did there. Yeah.
And speaking of which, here we are on match point in Zen LE, where we will be Zen and calm, and LE stands for lunatic expulsion. Lunatic expulsion. That's when you gotta get the Zen in, because, you know, calm down, my dude. Just calm down. Here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, Light, are you free?
Freaka TV.
He is up here. He is going to be the red Protoss representing a freak of freaks. He is the Shield himself. He is all the way from the land of Korea. This is going to be Stats.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of Zen LE, we have the Canadian Zerg player representing Brave Star Gaming. It is Scarlett.
All right. I'm a little bit disappointed. Stats has not proxied yet today.
I mean, I would like to see him spice it up and have a little bit more variety there, but at the same time, it's Stats, and do you really need to do that? You know, to dirty your shield like that.
That is pretty accurate. That's why he has, what's the name of that organization in the Marvel universe where it's like they're not really Shield, but they're the Shield Black Ops.
Sword.
I don't know.
It's Sword. Shout out, maybe. I don't know.
That's when he gets Sword to do the work for him.
So we have Scarlett going for a similar opener. I say similar because she did go for gas pool, I think it was. So again, going for that early link speed. This time though, it hasn't made
pulls.
any links.
Yeah, pulling the drones away from the gas.
Yeah,
so it's not gonna be another Bane bust.
Mm-hmm. Again, I do think it is more of a defensive style, making sure you have that link speed to deal with the depths. I think I like it. I'm not too sure. It's definitely interesting, to say the least.
Stats' probe. Stats, where are you going with that probe? Okay, it's just going to be another scout, it seems like. Or, yeah, a scout and a delay on the third base.
Yeah, we don't see a proxy pylon coming down.
Man!
I know. I'm disappointed too. I'm disappointed too. It's okay.
All right, well, there's Twilight Council again, by the way. About to be done.
Yeah, he's doing it again. We've got the Robo Babe, we've got the Twilight Council. We're going to see some Glaive Adepts. Thanks, Est.
Thanks, Est.
There it is. Glaives are on the way, and we will see if this is a repeat from the previous game on Eternal Empire.
I don't think it will be, because like the one time that Scarlett is really macroing and really droning up, this could be worrisome. Does see that there are a couple of adepts out on the map, so Scarlett will will at least know that she's going to have to defend against some sort of light harass. It's not too much of an indication that it's going to be Glaive to depths when it's only 2, but still, it's going to be something. You're using that gas for something if it's just 2 adepts.
Yeah, definitely. And we do have a Virtual on the way for Scarlett. Scarlett is trying to establish her third base as well. She is kind of lacking when it comes to lings or units in general. We'll see if she's able to muster up a force quick enough to defend once the adepts hit, as the Warp Prism is all the way moving across the map.
It's about to go in. This is the one line of... This is the one place where Scarlett doesn't really have a line of sight.
Yeah, she doesn't really have much vision at all out on the map, especially since she skipped out on the lings, but we do have a couple of roaches on the way. She does have a handful of lings as well as queens. There are no drones at the third, so there are no drones to go down at the third.
Oh, I like this. She is just focusing entirely on defense right now. She knows that she cannot cut any corners. Otherwise, Stats is going to punish her for it if she does.
And here we go. Second wave of adepts have warped in as well. So more and more adepts are coming in. Again, no drones at the third base. So Scarlett, as you said, focusing on units, focusing on this defense. We'll see how this goes as Stats, he's continuing to make probes. I imagine we're going to see a third behind this as well. We'll see if like Scarlett,
it's gonna have to be.
Yeah, Scarlett, because she's been focusing on units, she could actually bust through this sooner than previously.
Yeah, she's looking to create a concave here, trying to get a really good position where Stats can't focus fire with his adepts.
Yeah, what I would love is if Scarlett made a couple of Ravagers, and then tried to snipe that Warp Prism, as it's like warping in units or something stationary. Because if something like that were to happen, that's an end to this pressure, to this push.
Absolutely. You see Stats once again just toying with the shades, pulling Scarlett back and forth, and again, just like game number 1 on Eternal Empire, just clearing up creep.
Exactly.
Not committing to economic damage.
Yeah, and this is maybe even worth it, like more than worth it, really, being able to stop the creep spread of a player like Scarlett, someone known for their creep spread. And again, we do have the Warp Prism. It's actually in the main base. We could see some multi-pronged harass happening, or at least pulling Scarlett away.
Yeah, let's pull Scarlett away, but Scarlett did split her forces really well. So there's still enough defense. In fact, enough defense here that Scarlett is feeling pretty confident to drone back up. But we do see Stats throwing down that third base.
Yeah, there we go. Third base coming down for Stats. Meanwhile, Scarlett is droning up pretty heavily behind this, and Stats doesn't commit to anything just yet. So yeah, I feel like this is better than the previous game for Scarlett. I feel like she's regained control a little bit sooner, and she's even getting a fourth base.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're if you're a Scarlett fan, then she's definitely handling this a lot better than on Eternal Empire. So there is that going for her. She does also have a lot of Ravagers, so she could be looking to counterattack pretty soon, as she's making 28 lings, 30 lings. Oh boy.
Yeah, I was gonna say game number 1, you could kind of say that Scarlett gave Stats a lot of time there, but now she's not looking to repeat that mistake. Let's take a look at what Stats has back at home. He's still looking pretty beefy. He has 4 mortals soon, has a handful of sentries, but the Sim City is not quite on his side this time.
Yeah, we do have a lot of
already
immortals.
moving in.
We do have a lot of sentries, but to counteract those sentries, you do have a lot of ravagers here for Scarlett. So we will see how much damage she can do to the shield himself. Can she break it?
Stats has scouted this. Stats is gonna have to be very careful, picking his fights, picking his positions very, very perfectly. He's gonna have to. And it's about to go on down. Good force fields coming down from every direction, but the Biles are about to clear it out. There's not a lot of room here to split, and the Banelings, actually the Banelings, connect on top of the sentries, but is it enough? Stats has a concave here with the Immortals and the sentries, and again, can't quite crack that shield, but has gained a bit of a foothold. Scarlett has here.
She's gonna try. 28 more lings are on the way. More Banelings are being morphed. We have +1 melee about to finish up as well in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is that Stats has no sentries right now.
No more force fields.
Trying to take advantage. Oh, Stats, gotta be careful. Trades decently well against the Banelings. Stats, you gotta pull back. Blinks away here.
Exposed. The Immortals are, oh my god.
So exposed. But look at this juggling!
Oh my god, Stats keeps them all alive, and the blinks are perfect as well. Wow.
Is Stats actually gonna hold this again? He does!
Yeah, he holds.
He's chasing Scarlett away. Look at the army supply plummet for the Zerg.
He doesn't lose any of his Immortals. The blinks were just on point. He holds without any force fields, without sentries.
And I want to point out, this aggression coming out from Scarlett, that was really scary. It comes back down to, as you were saying earlier, a lesser player than Stats. I can see them crumbling under that match Lingbane Ravager. But you can't do that against the Shield of Ire. But you can get a surround with Lings. Good Blinks coming in, but the sentries, okay, they do manage to pop up a couple of force fields, but they did get surrounded in the end. This might not be the best counterattack from Stats, as Scarlett does get very good positions, but the army is still alive, the Warp Prism is still here, and I guess the important thing is, all of the Immortals, they are still up and running.
Exactly, I was about to point that out. So far, none of the Immortals have fallen for Stats.
Warp Prism!
Oh, the Warp Prism goes down!
Does go down. And now there is no juggling available here. Stats is looking in a lot of trouble. He might have to recall here.
Yeah, he's gonna lose
but
everything
actually,
here.
the army...
yeah, there's enough.
The army...
That's it.
Wow-wee. Cut it short a little bit there, but the director himself, Stats, he's walked down the royal road. This is his first ever ESL Pro Tour Asia Championship, and what a way to win that. Scarlett, she made him work really hard, but man, oh man, I think my heart did skip a lot of beats there. Like,
definitely.
What a finals.
She just kept trying to push in, but Stats, his defense was impeccable. It was amazing there at his third base. He was able to keep all of his Immortals alive, despite having no sentries, no force fields available to him. He was able to hold on with his micro, with his blink, with his juggling, with his Warp Prism. That was insane.
His positioning.
Yeah. Wow.
Good game, well played.
Yeah, exactly. And towards the end, it looked like Scarlett maybe could have held on. Biling that Warp Prism was huge. She had the surround, but there just wasn't enough Zerg there for Scarlett, and Stats takes the series 3-1 and takes the win. GG.
Yes, we have an answer now. Stats versus Zest.
Yeah, Stats did what Zest couldn't. Wow. GG, well played. Congratulations, Stats, for winning the tournament, for getting 100 USD as well as some EPT points. Also, congratulations to Scarlett, as unfortunately she doesn't win any money, but she does win a couple of EPT points as well, which will be important as, again, I don't know if too many people have heard, but it was recently announced that the DreamHack events have been rescheduled for 2021, but the events themselves will take place online in 2020. So we won't have any offline events this year, but you know, the tour will go on. We will still have plenty of tournaments, plenty of StarCraft. It will just be all online instead. So yeah,
which I think is what we're used to.
it's what we're used to. It is a bit of a shame.
Rip the players, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of players. They love traveling. They love seeing the crowd and having. Getting like even energy from the crowd as like, you know, the cheers kind of motivate them, and that's kind of something that players do long for. But yeah, in these times, like it is cool to see that, you know, we're adapting as a community, as an esport. We are, you know, making, like, trying to make what we can with what we have, with the situation of how the world is. So yeah, it's cool to see. We do have plenty of StarCraft to come, at least. And yeah, to be determined, the announcement dates for the ESL tournaments. But something that is kind of right around the corner is TSL 5.
It is of a good mix. I actually haven't looked at the full qualifiers yet, but there are, just based on the invites, there are quite a bit of big names, quite a lot of big names. Look out for.
Yeah, over the past couple of weeks, the qualifiers have taken place, the Korean, European, and NA qualifiers, and I believe they have all finished up. Maybe there's one Korean one left, but I think they have all finished up, so all the qualified players and invited players have been confirmed, and yeah, it's going to be a pretty sick tournament. I'm sure everyone's looking forward to TSL coming back. Not just TSL coming back, but did you see the announcement?
I did.
Hey, someone else is coming
back. Day 9.
Yep, day 9.
He's just gonna have to get a quick refresher on everything that happened since last time.
Yep. He's just gonna be boot camping right now, like trying to catch up on everything that's happened over the years. But yeah, it's cool to see a caster, a personality like Day 9 coming back.
Taking a break from Magic.
Taking a break from Magic and Dota, he has returned, and it's cool to see. Like, he's always welcome. He's always like dipped in every now and then. I think he was a part of like the StarCraft anniversary events as well in the past couple of years. Yeah, like he's always around.
I'm nodding my head.
Yeah, and again, thanks everyone for watching. Shout out to all the community casters and other language casters that joined us today. Chicken Man SC was the other English caster. Of course, the one and only Crank himself was casting in Korean. Mage in Chinese. Yeah, giving us a couple of translations on the fly. Letting us know what Noodle stats prefers. If you want to look at the VODs, that there was a weird conversation mid-game where Stats and his opponent were speaking in Korean about what kind of noodles they wanted to eat and stuff. It was it was something. It was interesting.
It's one of those things that you miss if you don't watch the online events.
Yeah. Just shows how quirky it can be. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Yaku, who are you? Where can people find more of you?
Good question. Twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1, though I probably won't stream, I probably won't be streaming for a while as StarHub being StarHub. And Twitter.com @EmporaYakuzaku, !Discord in chat, and that will bring you to our Discord server where you can find me there as well, although I'm not an admin, so you probably want to be PMing Light Okuro. And other than that, buy my shirts.
Yeah, and you can find me at @light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I do stream occasionally, I do tweet occasionally about the events that I'm casting, but more importantly, follow the channel, CranKy Ducklings. We've been around for a while now. We're casting as much as we can. We run our own tournaments. We cast NA-based tournaments as well as Southeast Asia, Korea, Oceania. Yeah, we're pretty busy. We're live like 6-7 times a week. Not every day, but sometimes
only 2 days. Yeah, 5 days a week. I think we're live.
Yeah, and there are days like this where this is my second tournament I'm casting. I've been casting since 8 in the morning. Oh boy.
Yep.
Yeah, this was a little bit of a test that I decided to put myself through to see if I could survive, and it's all right, you know. Yaku carried a little bit. It's okay. Shout out to Steel. Steel usually casts this with Yaku, but unfortunately he is sick.
Yeah, send Steel Send steal your energy. He is at the doctor's.
Yeah, send steal your energy. He usually casts this, but he is a little bit under the weather. He does have you know, it isn't corona or anything, God forbid, but he...
It's not corona, he's just being tested for it.
Yeah, he's just old. Yeah, as you can imagine. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We really appreciate it. Stay tuned. We're gonna raid someone in the community, whether it's a player or another caster running a tournament. So yeah, spread the love, support the community, support the online scene, and yeah, we really appreciate it. Thanks everyone for watching, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bella.